I committed to Oregon, but I still had schools trying to get me to play basketball. I almost got kicked out of college because of basketball. Most championship teams, the locker room leads the team. And in Philly, it was exactly that.
When you think of Oregon football, you think of speed, quickness, and lots of scoring. You think of players like LaMichael James, D'Anthony Thomas, and Kenjon Barner. You see, Kenjon, among those other players, helped define speed kills at Oregon, exploding for 1,761 rushing yards and 21 touchdowns in 2012, punctuated by a school record of 321 yards and 5 touchdowns in a game against USC. He finished that season 9th in Heisman voting and undoubtedly one of the best running backs in all of college football. He then proceeded to the NFL, where he'd win 3 Super Bowls in 4 seasons with the Eagles, Buccaneers, and Patriots. But where is Kenjon Barner now? Well, let's ask him.
JB, my guy.
How we doing?
Listen, I woke up this morning. Any day I wake up, that's a blessing. That's the ultimate blessing. So
whenever somebody asks me, how you doing? I just think of those words that you say.
That's it.
I woke up blessed.
Anything on top of that is icing on the cake.
Yeah.
The gift is seeing the new sunrise.
Most people probably don't know this, but we know each other. And I just wanted to run through various eras of your life. We'll start with youth. We'll go to high school. We'll go to college. A little bit of pros, a little bit of past pros, all that. But yeah, man, how you doing today?
Man, I'm good.
Yeah.
Got a workout in, went and picked up the young fella. And here I am sitting with you.
Good
so
stuff.
I can't complain.
You brought the great weather. I mean, it's California, but you brought the great weather for me, man.
Listen, I know you need it.
I don't want to get too burnt, but I know.
Man, we need it, man. Need that sun.
Yeah, 100%. So, look, I wanted to ask you, what is your earliest memory of your involvement in sports? And the reason why I say that is, I would say most people know you for your football career.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's fair to say that your first love was basketball.
1,000%. Still is to this day. My first memories of sports would either be a league we had in Merino Valley called Game Time, which we had at I think the March Edwards or March. I can't remember the high school. It's a continuation high school, but it was a league up there, Game Time, that I played in. That was like my first real memory of sport, being in basketball, playing. But then NJB for sure. I played for the Kings. Our jerseys was black, the purple, the white. I wore number 10. Had a pretty good team. Played with my boy Antonio. His dad was the coach. I think that it was either Game Time or NJB first. But had a really good year. Ended up making the All-Star team. Played on the All-Star team. Helped win some games and helped win a championship. So those are like my first memories of sports, definitely in basketball.
And I think I read that your first time playing football was in 6th grade, right? Or was it earlier?
No, not earlier. I think it might have been 6th I think it was 6th. But like my mom would never let me play. Like my first real memories of sports, let's do that, is playing in the front yard with my friends and my brothers. Like my brothers used to sneak me up to the park and we would play tackle football. My mom had no idea because I was a scrawny kid. So growing up, going into the 5th, 6th grade, I was probably 55 pounds, soaking wet, skinny. I was skinny. So my mom was like, you're not doing anything, any contact sport like that where you're going to get hurt. So my brothers used to sneak me up to the park all the time. I was the fastest kid on the block. So go out there, play receiver. My brothers wouldn't let the older cats hit me too hard, but they would. We played tackle football. We played sideline pump in the front yard. Neighborhood was full of kids, so it was my age group. So at that particular time, you got 10, 11, 12-year-olds. Then the next age group was like 15, 16, then my older brothers. So it was like a big community, and we would all come together and play. Remember, we had a cat named Manny that used to live down the street. We would pull his basketball court out, pull our basketball court out, and we would turn the block into a full court basketball game. So those are my real first memories of sport. But to the tackle football, I think it was like the sixth or 7th grade. It might have been a 6th or 7th, either way. Janae Eddington is the reason I'm playing football.
Yeah.
1,000%. She passed away, but she used to beg my mom, can you let him play? Like, he's fast. He's going to be okay. Her kids used to play, Keon and Bobby and Isaiah. They used to play. So she used to always beg my mom. No, No, he's not playing. He's playing basketball. He's a basketball player. And then one day she disagreed, was like, if you get hurt, you're never playing football again. It's football. Something's bound to go wrong. The ultimate thing went wrong. I ended up getting smacked coming across the middle and getting a concussion. But if it wasn't for Janae Eddington, like I would have probably never played football.
Yeah. Shout out Janae Eddington.
Shout out to Janae.
You mentioned Moreno Valley,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of people, know your sports career, specifically your high school career at Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
But your sports career actually started at, and I apologize, I'm going to mispronounce it, but it's Calvary
Chapel, Moreno Valley.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you were a hooper there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think I read that. Actually, you know what? Before I get into that, I found a photo.
Uh-oh.
And we will put this up on the screen. It looks like from 2006.
Max Preps.
Max Preps.
Yeah.
A young Kenjon Barner rocking the Reeboks, I think.
Nah, we were in Adidas.
Oh, those are Adidas.
Yeah, those are Adidas, I believe. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Your basketball career, so I just wanted to show you that photo, but your basketball career continued into, when was the transition of going from
Calvary Chapel
to Notre Dame?
I transferred into Notre Dame going into my junior year.
Okay.
But I was still playing basketball. At Calvary, we ended up winning CIF. I think it was my freshman year. We won CIF, then went on into state. We got cheated at state. We played, I want to say, Mission Prep. They had a 21-year-old and a 22-year-old on the team. Yeah.
For real?
No, dead serious.
They can't check the birth certificate? How's that work?
They weren't from here. I want to say they were like from Puerto Rico or something like that. Huge dudes. Huge.
Yeah.
But we ended up losing to them in state. But we had a really good basketball team. Drew, Jeff, Rashad, Rocky. Shout out to Phil. We had a squad, the Twins. We had a squad. Our team, my freshman year, no public school in Moreno Valley wanted to play us. Like, we were cold.
Yeah.
We was like that.
Yeah.
Like, really like that. We was dogging people.
Yeah.
But the transition, that was my junior year. So I transferred into Notre Dame going into my junior year. Still played ball my freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year of high school. So it never became official. I committed to Oregon, I think my senior year.
Yeah.
I think is when I committed to Oregon for football. But I still had schools trying to get me to play basketball. And so it was still kind of up in the air. But I'm like, football's new, so I'm going to stick with football.
Yeah. And you were averaging great numbers. I looked it up. Max Preps, I think it was 13, maybe 6 or 8, 5 and 2, something like that.
Something decent.
It was solid.
Something decent.
But I will have to fact check that because Max Preps also had you at 6 foot. And
did they?
Don't make me stand up.
Don't worry about it. If they said I'm 6 feet, I'm 6 feet. Look, you can't measure heart.
Yeah,
you can't measure heart, okay? I'm 7 feet when it comes to heart.
I think the Oregon roster actually had you at 5'11", 1.2.
Yeah, they let me choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 5'10".
You get the platform shoes on then.
Don't worry. Don't do that. Don't do me like that. Yeah.
So you did go to Oregon. I want to take a step back though. Do you remember your first offer?
My first offer, I believe, came from Colorado State. I think that was my first offer. Colorado State was really the first school to show me any attention. It was Colorado State and Brown University of all schools.
Oh.
Yeah. I wasn't getting into Brown. I was not. When I looked up Brown, I'm like, why are they sending me letters?
Where is Brown, by the way?
Back east.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like an Ivy League school. It's like one of the top schools in the country.
Yeah.
You get a degree from Brown, you can get a job anywhere. But I'm like, y'all are recruiting me? You know, at this time, my GPA was probably like a 2.5. I think to get into Brown, you got to have at least a 3.6, 3.7. It's like that type of educational institution. But it was Brown in Colorado State. That was my first offer. Then UTEP came along. Then after UTEP, it was Arizona State. Now, when Arizona State came along, that's where I was going. Like, I was going to, that was my number one. Because I had never been away from my family, ever. I think the longest period of time I'd been away from my family was maybe a week. where I went without either my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sister, my grandmother, my aunt. I had never been away from my family. And so when I started getting offers, I'm like, my brother lives in Arizona. I'm going to Arizona State. I'm gonna be by my family. They offered myself and a running back from my area, Ryan Bass. Shout out to the Bass family. They put athletes out, and Ryan was a dog at the running back spot. So they offered me and him. He committed, and I'll call the coach name. I don't care. Coach Lubick. He called me and was like, "Hey, you got a week to commit, or we're gonna renege on your scholarship." I said, "What?" I said, "You could keep it. You could take it." My dad was furious. He was like, "You did what?" I said, "They're not forcing me to commit." I said, this is my future. This is where I'm gonna spend. If you want me, there's no reason for you to rush me into a decision. So no, I'm good. They can have it. And me and my dad went at it probably for 2 months straight, like constant clash. You need to commit. I'm like, no, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was there ever an inkling of pursuing basketball? You said there was some interest from other schools.
Yeah. So I had a couple D1 AA's. And then Nebraska at the time, my travel coach, Charles Matthews, his brother was the head coach at Nebraska. And so there was conversations like, if you want to play ball, you can come here. Like, you can have a scholarship to come here and play ball. And so there was that of like, okay, do I want to play ball or do I want to play football? Like, I can choose, which is a great position to be in, a hell of a position to be in. But football was new. And so I chose football just because, I played in the 6th grade and I didn't play again until my freshman year of high school. I played flag. And then my high school started a football team going into my freshman year at Calvary. And I tried on the team, made it.
It's 8v8s, right?
8-man.
Yeah.
What you know about that?
I did my
You
research.
have to do your research, huh? Yeah. So yeah, started off in 8-man. But yeah, it was always basketball. Even I almost got kicked out of college because of basketball. Like, being completely honest, I would literally, kids don't do this. I'm not saying this to glorify it. I'm not saying it because it's cool, but this is what I did. At this point in time, we were having afternoon practices. It was when Bellotti was still the head coach. And so wake up in the morning, I wouldn't go to class. I'd go to the rec instead. We had 8 a.m. classes. I'm like, me and my roommate, Scott Grady, you feel like going? You feel like going? Nope. And then I call my boy Trevor and Andrew. We go hoop. We'd hoop all day. And then that kind of carried over when Chip became head coach, because now we have morning practices. And now we had noon runs. And that was the best time to play ball. All right, bet. So I'm going to go to practice in the morning. I'm going to run back home. I'm going to go play ball. So yeah, basketball. It was basketball. Even in the league, I still snuck and played basketball. I did. Like,
and that's a big no-no, right? That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a big no-no. Matthew Tucker, he was a running back from TCU. We played together in Philadelphia. He tore his quad tendon at a celebrity basketball game. And shout out to Tuck, but if it wasn't for Tuck, I probably wouldn't have gotten the looks that I've gotten in Philly, because he was ahead of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Hey, if Isaiah Thomas can make the league, why not Kenyon?
Why not?
Why not?
Listen, I'm tenacious on the defensive end, and I could score the ball, and I was a pure point guard. So a lot of people don't know that Andre Miller is my cousin. And yeah.
From Blazers Andre Miller. Okay.
Yeah. Denver Nuggets, Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, that's my cousin. So I grew up like going to one of my uncles, DeAnthony Langston, ran a league called the Nike Rail Run right out of Torrance. So I grew up in basketball, where I'm going to watch Paul Pierce, I'm going to watch Baron Davis, I'm going to watch all these different cats play. Andre would take me to camps out in Utah. We'd go to the camps up at Utah. He took me out to Miami when he was signed with Converse at the time. And I got the opportunity to meet all the Converse cats, Dwayne Wade, I think it was Bosch at the time, and a couple other cats. Got to play ball against Dwayne Wade. He dunked on me. Something vicious. I was like 13.
Yeah, come
12,
on.
13, yeah. But so I like basketball, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it, and that was all.
But you go the football route.
Yep.
You commit to Oregon,
hmm
go to Oregon, and you get there 2009?
2008.
2008, excuse me,
2008.
2008.
The summer of 2008.
2008. And there's a heck of a backfield already, right?
I'm not even in the backfield.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I went to Oregon as a DB. And if you want to talk about a stacked room, Patrick Chung, TJ Ward, Jarius Byrd, Walter Thurman, Thomas Jackson, Titus Jackson, Anthony Gilden, Willie Glasper. I'm in a room with some dudes. So either way, whether I would have came as a running back or a defense, I was in a room. I was gonna sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you made it competitive. Even
Yeah.
as a DB, you made it competitive.
Yeah. Shout out to Walt. Shout out to Pat. Willie Glasper. Really, that dude taught me so much. I'll always give that dude credit because he would literally, as he's dogging me in practice on special teams, he's teaching me. Like he's doing dirty stuff to me. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, I'm teaching you how to play this game. Like just the stuff that I'm doing to you, this is what you need to implement. Like, and really taught me how to play the game and made me way more aggressive than what I was.
Yeah.
But all them dudes, they showed me so much love and taught me, took the time to teach me and made sure that I learned and that I grew in the sport. So much so going into my redshirt freshman year, I was starting at nickel before I got moved to running back.
And when did that transition happen? What was the moment, whether it was the coaches, whether it was you, was like, I want to be on the offensive side?
I always wanted to be on the offensive side of the ball. So what got me to commit to Oregon was the honesty of Coach Oz. Every other school was recruiting me as a running back. But Coach Oz told me, like, you're too small to play running back right now at the Division I level. Like, your best path, if you want to go to the NFL, is at DB. He said, I'm not saying that you can never play running back, but for right now, that's where it's best suited for you. And so when he said that, I'm like, Oregon's like one of the top universities in the country, and they're telling me I can't play running back. So is everybody else lying to me to get me there than to move my position? And so it was the honesty that got me to commit to Oregon. But when I got there, spring ball went through season, went through winter, and we were coming into spring ball. And LaMichael had surgery. Remine Austin had broken his foot. LeGarrette had an injury. And I think all we had was Andre Crenshaw. Andre Crenshaw was the only back on scholarship, and we had a couple walk-on guys. I had we were in spring ball. I had made a pick in practice, and I ended up taking it back. And then after that practice, Coach Neal was like, "Hey, Chip wants you in his office." I'm like, "Damn, I'm in trouble. What did I do?" So I go in his office, and he's like, "You're good with the ball in your hand." I was like, "Yeah, I play running back." He was like, "Yeah." He said, How do you feel about coming to the offensive side of the ball? Come help us out on offense." I was like, "Where?" He's like, "At running back." I was like, "Excuse me?" But I was hesitant because I had gotten good at DB. I gotten really good at DB. And I was starting. So it's like I'm walking away from something to where now on this side of the ball, we got LaMichael, we got LeGarrette, and Andre Crenshaw, who were going to be the three guys. And so I'm like, if I come over here, like it's like I'm starting all over again. But luckily, some of those guys were hurt, so I really got to show what I could do. And the deal was, I was supposed to be Travis Hunter before Travis Hunter. The deal was I was supposed to, and for me to go over to that side of the ball, I was going to be going both ways. That was the deal. That was the agreement. And so I go to practice. I'm at running back. I asked Chip, when am I going back to DB? He's like, yeah, we're going to get you there. We want you to get comfortable. I go to Coach Neal. When am I coming back to DB? He said, he's not letting you come back. I said, what do you mean? He said, he's not letting you come back. He was like, you went over there, you did too good. Like, oh, okay. So that happened. So it was the spring going into my redshirt freshman year was when the transition happened.
Wow. So you would have been a starting DB at Oregon, not a running back.
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure. I was starting at nickel. I mean, we still had Walt. We had Talmadge. So those two were going to be right and left corner. I was starting at nickel.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
And I think most people know that, over time, like you, or maybe even immediately, you and LaMichael kind of hit it off. You become really good friends.
Before I even got to that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, because we have the same foundation, but we're from two completely different worlds the way that we grew up. So the way that we connected and linked was just random. It was random. Um, we just was chopping it up, talking one day, and then it was every day. Like just you just meet certain people and you just connect on a different level. LaMike was to himself, I was to myself. I wanted to leave, he wanted to leave. We were eventually going to leave. LaMike was leaving back to go back to Texas, and I was coming back home to go to UCLA. But the backs talked to him, and Pat and Walt pulled up on me and talked to me, and the rest is history after that. But yeah, me and Mike clicked early, super early. Being on complete opposite sides of the ball, not really having any interaction with each other until one day that we did, and we was like this from that point on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Walt. Who are some other players on the team that kind of maybe took you under their wing, no pun intended,
I
as
like that.
and provided that mentorship to help you kind of settle in?
On the defensive side of the ball, like I said, Willie Glasper, all of them, man. Anthony Gilden. Anthony Gilden was my OG to start off. So in fall camp, we used to have to stay in Barnhart, and so the freshmen had to room with an elderman, and so I ended up rooming. Anthony Gilden was my roommate, and so Ant poured into me. Ant was my alarm clock. Ant was my, all right, bro, come on, let's go to bed. Ant was, KB, you need anything, you need help. So shout out to Anthony Gilden. But Walt, Pat, Talmadge, Brian Butterfield. Then when I get to when I'm still at DB, Jason Williams helped me out a lot. Terrence Scott, they used to help me at DB. Coach Frost used to help me a lot at DB. And then when I got to the offensive side of the ball, Rimene, Dre Crenshaw was huge. Those are the dudes. Will Tukawafu. Those are the dudes. Eddie Pleasant. Yeah, it was all the older guys. A lot of the older guys, and that's kind of been a story of my life. It's always been older dudes that have taken me up under their wing and kind of showed me the ropes of how to do stuff and show me the do's and the don'ts of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you settle in on the offense and start producing. And you and LaMichael are one of the most dynamic duos in college football. I think probably I would argue that the only other duo that would even compete with you guys is the Wisconsin duo of Monty Ball and James White.
That's a hell of a
heck
duo.
of a duo. You guys make it to the national championship.
Mhm.
And as we know, Oregon has never won a national championship yet.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Just given your story, given your path to getting there, you know, where you grew up, where you came from, thinking you're going to be a DB, what was that like just stepping out onto that national stage and, you know, whether it's you yourself, but also representing University of Oregon, like what was that feeling? That must have been just an incredible feeling.
In all honesty, as a kid, you don't really, it was just a game. I'm just playing ball. Like you understood, like, all right, I'm in a national championship. Like I've seen this game. I've watched this game. I've watched Reggie Bush. I watched Lendell White. I watched one of the best college quarterbacks of all time, you know what I'm saying, and Vince do his thing. Like this is a game I grew up watching. So you understand like the magnitude of it, but we were so green and I was so green, bro. It's a game. And then you get distracted by everything else that's going on during the week. But for me, like that game didn't hit me until years later of like, bro, you played in a national championship. Like you got to the pinnacle of college football. You didn't win it, you know what I'm saying? But you got there, you played, you were on the field. But I do remember pregame when, you know, we're out there doing our warm-ups and the crowd is filling in the seats and the noise is starting to get louder. You hear the crowd chatter. The atmosphere starts to pick up. I do remember going through warm-ups and I'm just kind of looking around just, oh, this is crazy. Oh, this ain't no normal game. It's not just any game, man. We're playing at SEC school, so they get like 75% of the tickets. So like you really feel the magnitude of like, okay, this is really a home game for Auburn. But that feeling didn't set in, I want to say, until I was gone. And then, once you start to look back and reminisce, like you go to specific moments, I can go to specific plays, and the emotions and the feeling of it come back to me. They hit me. Because as a player, you're so locked in, you don't really get an opportunity to. That's one thing about sports. It's always moving on to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. You don't really get the opportunity to let everything set in. You don't get to really enjoy and embrace the moment because I got to learn these plays. I got to make sure I know what I'm doing. I got to study the defense. I got to study special teams. It's a lot going on. So you really don't get the opportunity for things to really set in until after.
Yeah. Maybe it's hard to live in the moment.
Very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit. LaMichael heads off to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's fair to say many people were thinking that you would as well.
I was.
And I'm sure that was a very, very difficult decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that decision process like? And looking back, do you think it was the right one?
Looking back, I definitely think it was the right one. But before I get there, I'll go into like the process of it. It was stressful. One, I'll go back to college recruiting and being in that space, but I had my family to lean on. I had my family. I could go home to my mom and dad. I could talk to my brothers. I could talk to everybody was right there. My nucleus was there. I was at home. I was in the comfort of my family. So any sort of pressure I felt, they would alleviate for me. And I was a child, so the decision wasn't, I didn't feel the weight of it. Now, as a junior in college, like this is a grown man decision. Like the decision's on you. Like I can talk to my family, but my family's down in California. They're 14-hour, 15-hour car ride away, 2.5-hour flight away. So they're not here. So I'm really in this space. And shout out to my boys. Shout out to my friends. I got some of the best friends in the world. Trevor, Andrew, Mick. Shout out to Riz, Tufa, Salih, Shamsu, Bishop. Like, you want to talk about people being there, being sounding boards, pros and cons. Okay, what does it look like if you do leave? What does it look like if you stay? Do you gain? Like, these are real conversations that I'm having with my friends. My friends truly wanted the best for me, but I also had the Donegan family as well. Pam, my oldest son's grandmother. She had been in the sports world. She worked for the Blazers for a number of years, and so she understood sports in a different way than any woman that I had been around at that particular point in time. So she was somebody that I leaned on heavy too. I would go spend days at ours because I wasn't around the team. I think I had until the end of, I think I had about 2 or 3 weeks to like really set and declare if I was gonna go. So I was away from the team. I didn't go to any practices. Shout out to Chip because Chip gave me, he was like, bro, take your time. He was like, it's an important decision. But also I had a meeting with Chip as well, and Chip, we talked, and he was like, I'm just gonna talk from my perspective and tell you what I would like. I would love for you to come back. I think it's a huge opportunity for you to come back. He said, and I want to come back and I want to finish this thing with you. I was like, okay, heard that, Coach Cam, I want you to come back. Everybody wanted me to come back. But it was nerve-wracking. Because again, now it's a grown man decision. Like, I'm not going from high school to college. I'm going from college to a professional career. I'm going to make income. I'm going to potentially put myself in a position to take care of my family. I'm in a position now to do things that I wasn't able to do at 18. So it weighed heavy on me and it was stressful. But my mom was the ultimate deciding factor.
It's always mom.
Always mom. Always mom. And so it was my mom and the agent that I eventually signed with. I'll go to the agent first. Every agent told me I was done. It was like, you've done all you can do here. Like, there's nothing else you can do. Like, you've been in the record books. You got great film out there. You need to leave. It's like 6 or 7 agents. Leave. There was one agent, Frank Bauer. He said, before you make this decision, let me ask around. He said, let me talk to some scouts. He said, I personally think you should go back. Was the only agent that told me to go back. And that threw me. And I told you earlier, it was Coach Oz's honesty that got me to go to Oregon. And so he called me like a week later. He had talked to the scouts from the Green Bay Packers, and I forget the other team. He was like, the scouts think you should go back. He was like, I think you should go back. He said, it's your decision to make. And he didn't even represent me at the time, so he didn't have to do this. And so he's like, I think you should go back. He said, but I'll let you sit with that, talk to your family and go over it. He said, but that's kind of what we think. And then I talked to my mom. My mom called me. And my mom don't say too much. And she's like, hey, baby. I'm like, what's going on, Mima? How you doing? I was like, I'm trying to make this decision. She was like, yeah. She was like, you remember that promise you made me on the way up to Oregon? I'm like, what promise? She said about school. I said, yeah. She said, so you're going to break your promise? And so I promised her on my way to school that I wouldn't leave until I got my degree. And so when she said that, I said, okay, I'm going back. And that was the deciding factor.
Can't break a promise to mom.
No, I can't break it. Well, it broke plenty promises to mom. I had to keep some of them. I had to keep that, and that was important to her. It was important to her that I got my degree before I left, because in all reality, most guys that leave school early, they never come back.
Yeah.
Because you get tied up with the professional life. You get tied up with being a pro. You get tied up with taking trips and doing this. So you're not thinking about school. And so my mom, and then shout out to my agent, who eventually became my agent. It was those two that really decided that for me.
Yeah, and all those other agents. You definitely were not done yet. We'll get into the USC game in a second, but really quick, I'm curious. So that one agent, Frank,
Frank Bauer and Kenny Chapman.
What was his or their reason?
They just wanted what was best for me.
Yeah, they're just like, hey,
it was that simple. They was like, listen, we don't care about making money off of you. We want you to be in the best position possible for your future. And it was that where every other agent is telling me again, leave. Everybody wanted to make some money, but they were more concerned about me as a person and more concerned about my future rather than trying to make a quick buck off me.
Yeah. That's awesome. People that care.
Shout out to Frank Bauer and Kenny Chapman. Sunwest Sports, baby.
So you stay.
Yeah.
And, going into that next season, I would say it's probably one of, if not the best Oregon teams ever. It's pretty.
Put them up there.
I might be biased, but it's pretty incredible.
You can put them up there.
You were on the Heisman watch list. You were probably not even arguably, one of the top running backs in the entire country for college football. And you definitely were not done yet.
No, I was not done.
I want to dive into that USC game.
Yeah.
So you come to USC. And, I feel like there's kind of like two sides of USC that some people, depends on the generation that you've seen. If you're in a recent generation, you're like, USC, who cares, right now?
Yeah.
We talked about that. But there's absolutely no shade, because in the past, USC,
was it?
The championships speak for themselves.
Yeah. I was an SC fan. So
100%.
Yeah.
And so going into this game, USC is a great team.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the Coliseum, you probably know off the top of your head, but I don't want to.
I do.
I don't want to mess. 361 yards?
321 rushing
321 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. In the Coliseum.
Yeah.
How did that even happen?
Man, shout out to my O-line. That was probably one of the best offensive line block games that I've ever played in. Shout out, and the receivers as well. So that's how it happened. I had never, in 4 years, the offensive line, I don't think had ever blocked like that. Maybe for LeMike's, I think, 286 at Arizona?
Yeah,
I think 286, 287, that game. But them dudes were as a team, we was on a mission. But coming home and always playing SC for me was always a good game.
It's like a homecoming for you.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This was my first time being able to play at SC. So when we played there, I think it was 2010. I was out. I was recovering from that concussion from Washington State.
Yeah.
So I traveled, but I didn't get to play. And then the next year they came up to Eugene, 2011. So I hadn't been able to play at home in the Coliseum. And after they had beaten us in 2011 at home, that was the game Maldonado missed.
Was that the Halloween game?
No, that was the Halloween game, the Friday night game.
Yeah.
No, that was 2000 and that was 09.
Oh yeah.
That was 09.
That's when LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh.
Yeah. That was 09. Oh, that's Bosh.
Oh, that's Bosh. Probably like D Wade. You dunked on me. Remember that?
Yeah, man. But no, that was the Halloween game. But they had beaten us, and I still had a good game. I think I had like 114, 120 yards and like 2 touchdowns, I think.
Yeah.
In that loss. And so when I came home, everybody that I know is either SC fans or go to SC that play ball at SC. And so I go to a party and they're just woofing. The whole party's just talking. And I'm like, bro, y'all can't really say. I mean, we lost. Y'all won, don't get me wrong. I still ran for 100-some yards and 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I only played a half, really. I said, but don't worry about it. I'll see y'all next year. And so
you saw them next year.
That game was marked on the calendar, for sure. And I remember before the game, whenever I talk about this game, I tell this story. It was Cody Salazar and Justin Salazar, 2 of my friends from back home. They're SC fans. And this is like way pregame where nobody's even in the stadium yet, where like we can kind of go out, just do what we want to do. And so I go out and they're in a stadium. I don't know how they're in a stadium this early, but they're there. And they're like, bro, they about to get y'all. I was like, yeah, all right. I said, hey, I want to apologize for what I'm about to do to y'all. I did not, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I knew I was going to run for 300 yards. I just knew I was going to have a game. I knew I was going to have a day.
Sound like Kobe.
Yeah. I knew I was going to have
mentality.
a day. I knew I was going to have a day. The way that I felt the build up the night before, I'm like, oh, this is home. I get to be home. I got to put on. Yeah. I got to put on a show. And that game started and I went black. I went to a zone that I had never been in, to where it didn't matter who was in front of me. It didn't matter. Nothing mattered. I was going to find a way. And boy, did I. It was, one of them ones.
Yeah. 8.5 yards per carry. That's something. That's nice. That's some video game numbers right there.
Yeah. I remember, what was the safety's name?
Taylor Mays? Is that too
No,
early?
he was going number 7. What was his name? He was my boy. Can I Google this right quick?
Yeah. Adoree Jackson?
No. My phone is up there.
Oh, here. I can probably look it up, actually. You said
number 7. USC 2012, number 7. Safety. And Hayes Pillard. I remember Hayes.
TJ McDonald.
TJ McDonald.
Nice.
TJ McDonald.
He was nice.
I think it's in the third quarter. And TJ come, they tackle me. And he's like, hey, KB, bro, just fumble a couple times for us, bro. Chill out. He's talking to me at the bottom of just fumble a couple times for us. Chill out, bro. You're doing too much. I remember Nelson Aguilar on the sideline was like, bro, he's playing like a creative player. And then Hayes one play. He came to hit me, and he ended up making the tackle. He was like, hey, bro, you're doing a little too much on this defense right now. I was like, hey, we got to do what we got to do. And I remember after that game, this was probably the moment for me because I didn't know, as I'm walking off the field, during the game, I had no idea. LaMike is talking to me on the sideline like, hey, bro, you doing something special right now. But I'm not really, like, if you look at me on the sideline, I'm always smiling. I don't think I smiled one time that game. Like, literally, I was just in a completely different zone. But after the game, Chip was like, you know what you just did? I was like, no. Nah, he was like, you ran for over 300 yards. I said, what? He was like, yeah. Lane Kiffin, I'm in the locker room changing after the game, getting dressed. Lane Kiffin, the security Tom comes into the, who was our security? He comes in, hey, somebody's outside, want to talk to you. I'm like, who? He was like, Lane Kiffin. the coach from SC? He's like, yeah. So I go outside. He was like, hey, man, I just wanted to come congratulate you. He was like, I've never witnessed a game like that in my life in all my years of coaching. He was like, that was something to see. He was like, you had a historic day. He said, you'll be in the USC record books probably forever. And true enough, I'm from an opponent, I hold the most rushing yards from an opponent and from a touchdown perspective at the Coliseum.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll probably never be beat either.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. It's a lot. I don't like. It's crazy to think about. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy. And the crazy part about it, I could have had more yards. I left so much meat on the bone.
Did you?
Oh my God. I watched that game. I get sick. I literally could have rushed for 400 yards. Literally.
That's crazy.
It makes me sick when I go watch that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you finish out that season, and I believe you finished 9th in Heisman voting.
Mm-hmm.
Is that another one of those things where, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but where you're kind of like, in the moment, you're like, okay, kind of like national championship. Like, it's cool. But, I mean, that
still hasn't hit me.
Really? Okay.
That's still something that I don't even, I forget about that.
Yeah.
I really do. Bro, I'd be so, like, a lot of this stuff don't matter to me. Like, it matters, but a lot of this stuff don't matter. Like, I just played ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just did what I love doing. I went out there, had fun. So, like, the accolades and everything that came with it, like, that's from my dad. You know, my dad could he could run off every stat, every accolade. That stuff has never meant anything to me. It really hasn't. And I wish it did. And maybe as I get older, you know, it'll hit me one day. You know, for my young boy, you know, for those guys, it'll probably mean something to them. I'm sure it does, but that's still, I mean, thinking about it now, like, it's impressive.
It's really impressive.
It's impressive.
Yeah. And this is the space where we want to celebrate those accolades, because that's
impressive. It really is.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So following that season, you get into the NFL draft, or are drafted 6th round, 182.
182
to the Panthers. The draft process.
I hate it.
Yeah. Why?
It was just long, drawn out, unnecessary. I mean, you talk to 7-8 teams that have no intention on drafting you at all. Like, I never spoke to the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Until draft day. So it's like you're going through all these meetings, you're getting pulled here, you like the combine and the Senior Bowl. You could have kept it. Like, I appreciate the experience of it, but long nights and meetings and this and that, like, it was crazy. Like, I really would have loved to, the combine, yes. And I would love to have just stayed home, trained, got ready for the combine, and went. It was just a long, drawn out process. It was exciting because it's like, you know, I got an opportunity to get my name called. And then when you get the invite to the combine, I really got an opportunity to get my name called, because I think the number is like, I don't know the exact percentage, but you go to the combine, you're likely to get drafted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the top 300 guys, and, you know, out of college football or whatever it is, that get invited to the combine. So, you know, it's looking good. But it was a long, drawn out, it was an exciting process. It was, I won't even say nerve wracking, but you just wondering, where am I going to go? You have no clue. You know the teams that you talk to, but you just have no idea where you're going to go. You have no idea. It was like a mystery, the unknown. But draft day, the most emotionally charged day I've ever experienced in my life. I experienced emotions that I didn't even know existed. Like, there's a chart that you can pull up on Google that it has all the different emotions, like 1 million different emotions. I felt every single one. I'm like, oh my God, this was crazy. I felt anger. I was sad. I was hurt. I was everything. I was everything on that day. I cried. It was just, I was slotted to go in the 4th. I didn't go to the 6th. I'm like, the 4th round comes. I get a call in the 4th from the Carolina Panthers. And so Charlotte area code pop up on my phone. I'm like, oh, this is it. Oh, this is, hello? Hey, baby, what's going on? It's Coach Skip, Carolina Panthers. What's up, Coach? Hey, I'm just calling to check on you. You what? Yeah, you know what? I know Coach Campbell, is my guy. And so, baby, I just wanted to call and check on you, tell you to hold on. It's like a boxing match. It's 12 rounds of blows. You got to take the blows. You got to roll with them. You got to slip them. But when you get your punch, you got to land it.
And you've never talked to this coach before?
Never. Never, not a single day in my life. I didn't know who is Coach Skip?
You like thought this was a prank call.
I didn't know who it was, but yeah, that was a call I got in the 4th round. So when I'm slotted to go, I'm like, oh, I'm going. No, I'm not going. Okay, so you sit, 4th round goes by. You know, my agent told me not to watch the draft. He was like, go do something. Don't watch it. It's the draft. Like, I'm in the draft. Of course I'm gonna watch it. So you go through the first day, you're not going the second day, but then you start to see guys go. He wasn't better than me. He wasn't better than me. He wasn't. What is it? Like, what's going on? Then 5th round comes and you start to wonder, like, damn, is this gonna happen? Like, is my name gonna get called? And so I had not all of my family, but my immediate family, and I had my close friends. They were all at my parents' house. And so I disappeared. Like, I walked outside, came back in the house, snuck upstairs, went upstairs, and I sat in my room and I cried. Because now in my mind, I'm like, my dream of hearing my name called is slipping. It's the 6th round. Like, there's not much left. Like, if I don't get called now, like, it's not gonna happen. So what does it look like? And so I'm upstairs. I'm in my room crying. I'm mad, and Carolina Panther never pop up again. I almost didn't answer. I really didn't. I looked out and I put my phone down.
Understandable.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, what are you calling me again for? I pick it up. Hey, baby, what's going on? Like, completely dejected, no emotion. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? I'm like, mad. He said, good. I'm glad. Hold on to that. He said, I stood on the table for you. We pulling you off the board. I broke down, ran downstairs. I'm talking about snotty nose. It's that soulful cry where no sound is coming out. Nothing. Just, I can't breathe. And then my family looking at me. Then it pop up on the TV. The Carolina Panthers select Kenjon Barner, and the house erupted. The tears went from anger and sadness to complete elation, relief, joy, bliss, euphoria. It was a euphoric moment to watch something that I've been watching since I was a little boy, watching guys go, hearing their names called, to knowing, like, man, I'm one of the top players in the country, and my family gets to live this with me. We get to share this moment. This is something that will go down in the history of our family, of me being the first person in our family from a NFL standpoint to get drafted to play in the NFL. I can feel those emotions. I can feel it all now. I can feel the moment now. We went straight to the mall and bought up every Carolina Panther hat you could buy at Lids. We got a picture, so I'll send you the picture. We deep. All of us got Carolina Panther hats home. But yeah, it was a crazy day. Crazy day.
And you get there, and there's a fellow Oregon running back
Yes.
waiting for you.
Yes.
That we know very well.
Yes.
Waiting to take you under his wing.
Waiting to do something else.
Mr. Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah.
Talk to me about his mentorship, and again, also maybe
Man.
helping you settle into the league and into the
Man.
Carolina Panthers organization.
Jay Stu was huge. But not just, again, it was always, I was never a guy that talked much. I came in, I sat back, I listened, I observed. But it wasn't just Stu. It was D'Angelo Williams. It was Mike Tolbert. It was Jordan Gross, an offensive lineman. It was Steve Smith. It was guys on the, like, just everybody took to me, important. Luke Kuechly, Jason Williams, the linebackers, that would help me. But Stu made that transition so easy for me, being away from everybody. Stu took me in like a little brother, opened his home up to me. I spent more time at Stu's house than I did at my own. There would be days where we go home from practice, we go straight to his house, we would sit in his studio, or would sit in his like little He had like a little chill room, little man cave in his condo. We was sitting there on the beanbags and watch TV. We would go eat. We would go out. Stu, like, really made sure that that transition was smooth for me. Like, everything you could do for a younger brother, Stu did for me. Everything. So without Stu, it wouldn't have went the way that it went. So much so, I was struggling to pick up pass protection. We had key protection, and I could not pick it up. We go out to this spot called Stash House. Shout out to Stash House. It's no longer there, but those who know, if you know, you know in Charlotte. If you know, you know. We're in Stash House. He was like, KB, what's up with you in key protection? I was like, I don't know. I just can't get it. He was like, you want me to teach it to you? I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking he going to teach me later on, tomorrow. We had a section. He told everybody, hey, everybody put your drink down. What are you doing? Everybody put your drink down. Everybody put their drink on the table. Stu put up a whole defense made of shot glasses, drink glasses, made a whole defense and taught me key protection right there in the middle of a club. Literally. And I never missed it again. I went to practice the next day and you would have thought that I'd been in the system for years, the way that I picked it. But it's moments like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, where we out having fun. We out having a good time. Like, no, we're trying to escape the game of football, but again, you care about me and you care about my success, that you, in this space, in this environment, you want to take the time to teach me. So I love Stu like a brother. That Stu is my brother. Without him, again, my career wouldn't have went the way that it went, because Stu taught me how to pour into people. I've seen a lot of selfish guys at that level. We had some on our team who, you know, I don't really want to help you. You know what I'm saying? But Stu showed me how you really supposed to do it. You know, you really pour into guys coming up under you. It's not a threat. Like, your success doesn't bother me. And sometimes it does. Sometimes your success does impact my career. But what he taught me is why guys that came up under me today love me the way that they do. Even with me being gone, like, it's dudes that'll call me or that'll hit me or that'll send me messages on, you know, on the DM, you know, bro, I appreciate you. So shout out to Stu.
Yeah, shout out J Stu.
Shout out to
the
J
man.
Stu, man.
Now you eventually get traded to the Eagles.
Heartbreak.
Mm-hmm.
Heartbreak.
But you're reunited with your former coach,
Yeah.
Chip.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because I'm sure now it's a little bit more similar with NIL, collegiate athletics, specifically
Mhm.
college football being closer to the NFL.
Mhm.
But even like, I'm not trying to age you, KB, but like even back, quote unquote, back in the day.
Say that a little bit louder.
Yeah, I'm not trying to age you, Kenyon. I apologize. But even like back in the day, it, you know, there are still stark differences between college football and the NFL.
Yeah.
So what was it like being reunited with your college coach, Chip, and how is it different? How is collegiate coach, how is Oregon head coach Chip in your relationship maybe different than NFL Eagles head coach Chip?
Well, I'll start at the end with the difference. There wasn't one. I think the only difference is Chip wasn't as hands-on. So in college, Chip was popping up at my classes to make sure I was in school. So you don't have that dynamic. You don't have that intimate connection, but the same coach that Chip was in college was the same coach that he was in the NFL. So to me, that dynamic was no different. That it was Chip. That's what I knew. That's who I knew. Since I was 18, 19 years old, that was a coach that I knew. So he was the exact same. So that part was good. But getting back to, I lost all my confidence in Carolina. I couldn't block. I couldn't block. It's not that I didn't have the heart to do it. I'm a $186 trying to block Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis and Jason Williams and Charles Johnson and Greg Hardy coming off like, come on, bro. What am I doing? So, like, me struggling in pass protection eventually bled into my play as a running back, bled into me like doubting myself, being able to play at this level. Shout out to Coach Rivera and Mr. Gettleman. My path has been so different, bro. It's so different. You never get the opportunity to decide where you're going to go in that league. Mm-hmm. When a GM or whoever it is that's making the decision about personnel, when they tell you you're getting traded, the trade's already done, you're going. Coach Rivera and Mr. Gettleman pulled me out of a meeting in training camp. We went on break, and Coach Rivera was like, hey, I want to talk to you for a minute. Come with me. And he's like, Chip has been calling for you for about a week, 2 weeks, and he wants to trade for you. We think the trade would be good for you to go back to somebody that knows you, that can help get your confidence back, because you're not the confident player that we drafted. And we think it would be better for your career to go back. But we want you to make the decision. Like, you're on the bubble here. You may make it, you may not. We love you as a person. You think you're a great kid. We think you have a bright future. If you want to stay here, we won't make the trade. We'll let you sit here and fight it out. But we think it's best that we do trade you so you do go. But it's completely up to you. You don't get that. GMs, head coaches don't give you that option. It's a business. Like, your item number 25, that's your jersey number, and we're trading you. So again, for them to have that conversation with me and leave that decision up to me, but also tell me, like, being in this game, like, you need this. And so they traded me. And it was the best thing that ever could have happened for me. Getting back to Chip, being in an offense that I knew, that I understood. It took me no time to pick it up. Getting up under Deuce Staley, who I've been up under Bill Belichick. I've been up under Bruce Arians. I've been up under all these different Doug Peterson, all these different coaches. Deuce Staley is the greatest coach that I've ever had, by far. Somebody who's going to teach you the game, get you to understand the game, and he's going to motivate you in a way that no other coach can. Deuce, shout out to Deuce Staley. Like, he taught me how to play the game. And then I get there, I'm up under Darren Sproles, who completely changed the trajectory of my career. Took me up under his wing. Again, didn't have to. But getting to Philly, getting to Chip, saved my career, because I got to gain my confidence back in a system that I knew, okay, I know this offense. I know where the holes should be. I know my reads. It was much easier for me to getting back in the flow of being Kenjon and learning how to play the game at the NFL level. And again, I didn't have to play because you had Shady McCoy, Darren Sproles, Chris Polk. I'm not playing. So I got to sit for like 2 or 3 years and learn how to be a pro and learn how to play the game at the NFL level. So shout out to Coach Rivera, shout out to Mr. Gettleman, and shout out to Chip for trading for me, because I don't know how long my career would have been had Chip not made that trade.
So past your time in Philly, you play for a handful of other teams.
Yeah.
And
what's that? A handful is saying it lightly.
I'm gonna be respectful,
I don't care. I don't care at all.
It's a journey.
7 teams in 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you were in the league that long?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
In 3 of those teams, you win a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I read, I don't know if this is still accurate, but at one point you were one of, I think, only 2 players that have won a Super Bowl with every single team was different.
Mm-hmm.
3 teams. And I'm curious, was there a moment that you realized those teams were Super Bowl caliber teams relative to the other teams you played for?
Philly, yeah, for sure. Once you're on a Super Bowl team, every team looks different, but the core of the team kind of looks the same. And so when I was in Philly, and when I say the core, this is what I mean by that. When I'm in Philadelphia, I'm watching how we're practicing. Like, I'm watching how this team is coming together. I'm looking at how the coaches are starting to lean heavily into the players and trusting players, and players are trusting coaches, to the point to where we're going through game plan. Doug is asking the players, what do you guys think about this? You guys want to run this play? What do you think about this route? You want to change this route? You got Jason Kelsey and Sproles and all these other cats giving input on what we're running. You don't typically see that. It's like, all right, these are the plays we're running. It may be a quarterback and the offensive coordinator going through their own thing, but when you're in a team setting, in an offensive meeting room, it's typically not that. And so I'm like, oh no, this is different. It felt different. Most championship teams, the locker room leads the team. And in Philly, it was exactly that. And so when I look at that team and I'm watching us play, I can't point to a time in a game where there was finger pointing, where if the offense wasn't getting it done, the defense was complaining. If the defense wasn't getting it done, the offense was complaining. It was, you throw an interception, don't worry about it. We about to go get this right back. You get scored on, don't worry about it. We about to go right out here and score. It was just a completely different feeling. And once we got, I won't say that, because when Carson went down, it was kind of like, okay, what does this look like? What does this look like now? So when he went down, And luckily, I think we had like the sorry Giants up next. So we had a couple games where Foles could find his way. But again, that the camaraderie and the trust in each other didn't waver, even with Carson going down. There was still that confidence of like, we just got to make it do it. We got to make it shake. It is what it is. We lost Carson, who, in my opinion, up to that point was the MVP of that season, and in my humble opinion, should have still been the MVP of that season. He didn't pass in any statistical category, I think, until the final week of the season. I think that says a lot about the type of year that he was having. But we never wavered. We never faltered. And so going through that season and then leaving there, like you could kind of feel like I kind of know what it feels like to be on a championship team. And the teams that I was on after that, I'm like, we're good, but nah.
Yeah.
Like we don't have it. We're good. But when I went to New England, you always know it's a possibility. You got Tom Brady, you got Bill Belichick, and their coaching staff. And what separates New England from any other team that I ever played for was the attention to detail. Not to say that a lot of those coaches didn't harp on attention to detail, but Bill was harping on the most minute things. The smart. Do you know the owner of his team? No, you need to. You need to know how this team is structured and why it's built the way that it's built. You need to know why he chose the GM. You need to know what the GM's mentality is. He's giving you a rundown from top to bottom of the organization as to why this team is the way that it is. And so when you get to New England, you see how they work. You see the foundation. You're like, well, you could win a Super Bowl at any year here because you're doing things that other teams aren't. And then the final year in Tampa, yeah, like you could feel it. When I got there, like day one, oh, this team feel different. And then as the season is progressing, I'm starting to look back on the New England teams, on the Philadelphia teams, and I'm like, yeah, this is a Super Bowl contending team. I don't know if we'll win it, but based on what we have and based on what we're doing and how we're operating as a team and as a coaching staff, we can definitely, you could definitely feel it. And you need help.
Yeah.
That's a key component. And on all of those teams outside of Carson, we stayed healthy.
It's so interesting because I'm a basketball guy, and it kind of seems like what you're saying that Philadelphia team was more like the early 2000s Pistons, where there wasn't like a centerpiece. You had Rip Hamilton, you had Sheed, but there wasn't that Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, which kind of seems like maybe that was Tom in that regard.
It's always Tom.
Yeah.
Any team Tom is on, it's Tom.
He's centerpiece. Yeah.
1,000%. But to that Philly team, we had centerpieces. I mean, it was, to your point, it was like a Detroit Pistons team. It wasn't like where we had this super mega star, but you had Malcolm Jenkins. At the earlier part of the season, you had Darren Sproles, you had Carson Wentz, you had Alshon Jeffrey, you have LeGarrette Blount, who's played in Super Bowls, you have Fletcher Cox, you have Brandon Graham, you have Big Bradford at middle backer, guys that can play the game. You had vets in place. Before he got hurt, you had Chris Maragos on special teams. So you had a nucleus of guys to where, no, we didn't have this mega superstar, but we all had they were stars in their own right. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't, again, to where you had a Michael Jordan or a Kobe Bryant, but you had a team full of guys who knew how to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so in those two Super Bowls with Tom at quarterback, he's got that $1 million smile, but I'm sure he has a similar, no, seriously, has a similar mentality as like a Kobe or as like a Michael, where probably on the field, he's not the most, you're not like loving him, but he's leading the direction.
Tom will make you not like him on the field.
Yeah.
Like Tom, but you got to love it.
Yeah.
You got to respect and love a quarterback that's willing to take on the role of leading the team. You got to love a quarterback that's willing to get in your face and willing to mix it up with you. Like, okay, I know who I am, but that don't matter. Like, let me see some fire in you. Like, you got to love a quarterback who knows exactly what they want, how they want it, and can express it to a receiver or to a running back to where you guys can be equally on the same page. You got to love a quarterback who can look at a game plan and say, hey, listen, this is what the coaches are doing. This is what we're going to do. Like, there's nothing that Tom will forget more football than most people will ever learn. So when you have a guy like that, you got to love it. You got to respect it. You got to honor it. And Tom will press your buttons. Tom can talk to you in some crazy way. But again, Tom is the type of dude to where he don't look at you different, or he doesn't treat you different if you fire back at him.
Yeah.
We're all grown men at the end of the day. But Tom would, Tom will test your manhood.
Yeah.
Absolutely, he'll test you, especially when you're not doing your job. If practice is not going well, Tom will go off the cuff and let it be known like this ain't it. But you understand it's Tom Brady, and it comes from New England. There's a standard of excellence. And for, whatever was it, 19 years, 17 years, whatever that he wasn't, there was a standard. And so when Tom comes, he doesn't forget the standard that was created in New England, because he was essentially the most important piece of that standard. So when he comes to Tampa, he carries that. And so I'm not going to allow you to dip up under the standard in which I hold myself to. I want greatness, so I expect greatness out of every single person. Even if you can't reach where I'm at, I expect it out of you. I expect you to reach the point in which you can identify and see yourself as being great at the level in which you are. Again, everybody's not going to be Tom Brady, but you can be the greatest version of yourself, and Tom was going to bring that out of you.
Yeah, 100%. So you finished out your career in the NFL.
Yeah.
And did you officially retire in 2022?
2023.
2022,
I was still in the process of trying to get back, working through injury and trying to get back.
Gotcha. In 2023, you officially retire.
Yeah.
What is that transition like from professional athlete into the real world? I can imagine it's just a weird, maybe almost tough transition.
I'm still experiencing it. This is crazy. I was having this conversation the other day of, I think bits and pieces of it is hitting me as time goes on. I used to, Till Henderson, she used to always check in and when people retire, it's a process. It gets hard. And I'm like, no, I'm good. That's not going to affect me. I'm all right. I've never seen myself as a football player. I've always seen myself outside of football. I've always seen myself as football is what I do. It's not who I am. And so because I've always had that mentality, I always felt like walking away from the game would be easy. And to some extent, to some extent it has been, and some it hasn't. But it's been challenging because for 14 years, including college, I've operated on a schedule that wasn't my own. I've operated on a schedule that was given to me. My whole day was planned out for me. And so now when you retire at, what was it? I was 33. Now there's this huge time gap. And so now you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I fill this time that I have? Like, you have the off season, but your off season primarily dedicated to training and getting ready, right? But now I'm free. And so now I have to find ways to stimulate my mind in ways that football brought that stimulation. And not only that, I didn't prepare for life after football the way that I should. What I do now, and that's probably lead us somewhere else, but like, this is all God. This has nothing to do with me. I could never take any credit for what I do now, because I turned what I do now, I turned it down at every opportunity that it came. I didn't want to do it. But I look at a guy like Brandon Graham, who has, since I was in Philadelphia, been in preparation for when the time came where he did walk away. So now, as soon as he's done, he's walking straight into another career. I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was thinking in the moment. I was standing right there where my feet were. And as an athlete, you got to think outside the box. You got to see yourself outside of that and prepare, because it's going to come. And all of us would like to think that football is going to last forever, that we'll play forever. But oftentimes the game is done with you before you're done with the game. And so because that is the case, you need to prepare. And I didn't prepare. I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I can always go back and coach. I can always, the typical things that guys do. But I didn't spend the time that I needed to spend to actually prepare myself. And so that's been the transition of finding out, what is it that Kenjon is passionate about now? And I love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do. And I'm fortunate that I fell into it. But it's been a battle, because, life changes. It's completely different. The money's different. You aren't making $30, $40, $50, $60, $100,000 a week no more. That's so now your lifestyle changes. If you aren't already living that way, now you have to make an adjustment. the things that you would typically do, you aren't doing anymore. So it's been a process. It's definitely been a process.
Yeah, and I've been fortunate enough to get to know you in this period of your life, and I know you're a high energy guy.
Yeah.
And what are some of those areas that you've put some of that energy in, whether it's philanthropy, whether it's like coaching, like you said? I know you go back to Oregon still quite a bit.
Yeah.
Big Ten stuff.
Big Ten, that gives me, I'm a guy that likes to be on the go. My whole career, I was always moving, and so that's the lifestyle that I got adjusted to. And so now working with the Big Ten Network, doing what I do, that kind of feeds that aspect of it. I do public speaking. I had a gig a couple weeks ago, and I'm sitting at the table and I'm talking. I was like, I get the same exact feeling that I would get before every game. The pregame jitters, I get it when I'm going to speak. And in football, it was, I need to feel I needed somebody to hit me. I need to get tackled for these nerves to go away, like to know, okay, it's football, let's play. And now I get nervous before I speak. I got to once I get on stage and start flowing, okay, now I fall into that rhythm. So it's things like that. Pointing my boys, you know what I'm saying? And especially my youngest, I have him majority of the time. A lot of energy and things that I've learned, I get to pour into him. I get to push him. I talk to him about greatness all the time. And, I ask him, you want to be an athlete? He tell me, yeah. I said, okay, well, athlete, it requires a lot of sacrifice. And so I get to pour into him like people pour into me. And it's been a road, but I'm enjoying every moment of it. I'm thankful for everything that I've gone through, because you have to sit in the fire to be purified. And right now I'm in that fire, and things are being burned off of me from my previous life of football. And now I'm turning into this new thing and walking into this new lane. And, I'm looking forward to the man that I'm becoming.
100%. And you got the podcast with Steele.
Shout out to Ducks. Ducks, you know what I'm saying?
100%. I know you're really getting into the media space.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting because that's, of course, kind of how I got into this. So it's been cool to see you grow in that media area. Lastly, where can people reach you best?
You can hit me on IG at I am Kenjon Barner. I am on X at KBDeuce4. I got a business email that I don't have on hand.
Put it up on the screen.
Put it on the screen. I think it's athlete to athlete LLC at gmail.com. I hope that's right. I believe, but any of those spaces right there.
Awesome.
I'll be making a LinkedIn soon.
You got to get on that. Get on that.
I do.
Yep.
I do.
Kenyon, I appreciate the time.
I appreciate you, my guy.
Alrighty. That's all we got. That is a wrap on today's episode of Where Are They Now? I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed the episode, tap that like button, hit subscribe, and make sure to hit that bell so you don't miss a future Where Are They Now episode. If you have a guest or topic you'd like to hear, make sure to drop it in the comments. Thanks for hanging out, and see you next time.